A little bit of scare for a second. Thought that my paddleboard might be deflating. So we're at Congaree National Park today on a beautiful Saturday morning. Almost said Sunday, but it's Saturday. I think it's just about 9 o'clock here. It's very humid out here. It rained a ton last night, but now it's nice and sunny and beautiful out. Our goal today is to paddleboard Cedar Creek. Is one of the main creeks that kind of run through the park, but because this park's a wetland, it's pretty much flooded throughout, so it should be interesting. Lots of old growth cypress and other beautiful trees, so I'm super excited to check it out.
I don't know.
Hey, what's up here? It's John from Restaurant Outdoors. So, you can see I finally made it into the water with my paddleboard. It was a bit of a trip to get it into the water. There are a lot of tour groups there, but there is this nice section to the right of the main entryway to the creek that you could easily put your paddleboard or kayak in, so I kind of opted for that other than going to the main dock that's there. Now, I'm not going to complain too much about having to get my paddleboard in here. It was much easier than when I went to Mountain Island Lake and I had to trek through mud to finally make it into the water. Still, it was a bit of an experience. Now, like I mentioned in the previous clip, I'm out here at Cedar Creek in Congaree National Park. I'm at the Kingsnake Trailhead kayak/canoe launch, which I think it's a roughly 5 to 10 minute drive from the main entrance of the park. It's such a unique place. Being on the creek versus just going to the main entrance of Congaree National Park, it is, I guess you could say, a game changer in how you see the park. There's these beautiful old growth trees and younger trees that have all adapted to living in this floodplain where they have these wide bases, and it's something that you just don't see anywhere else, especially places around me in the Charlotte, North Carolina area where I'm used to mostly man-made lakes and having to paddle there. So I'll let you enjoy some of the scenery here before we get into the rest of this adventure at Congaree National Park.
All right, guys, so finally made it out here. I had a little bit of scare for a second. Thought that my paddleboard might be deflating, but I do not think it is. If it is, we're not too far away. But I'm fighting this current right now. The creek here is definitely at flood levels, and there's tons of little hidden trees, but it's amazing out here with how pretty all of these trees are, and it just feels like you're in a swamp. So keep an eye out for some cool wildlife. Never know what we're gonna see out here. All right, so I'm gonna try to portage this tree here if I can find a way out. There's not really many options. I got all these cypress stumps over here. I guess I'm gonna have to like sneak right here. I have no clue how muddy it's gonna be. Might be a bit of a trick to portage, so we'll see. All right, we made it. I don't think I'm gonna do that more than once, but we made it, and hopefully that will be the only major tree. Let's see if we can get back into the creek without the stringer on my paddleboard.
I struggled to get a good shot, but I saw this spider on the tree here. I believe it's called a dark fishing spider. It would make sense that it would live by the water here. So, hopefully, this creature can make it back to land if it needs to, but I think it's enjoying its time right here at this tree at Congaree National Park. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to make it much past here. I got to the second tree and just decided, well, I could portage around it, but it's not really worth it. 20 minutes, another portage, and a swift ride later, I'm back where I started on Cedar Creek. The paddling against the current route was a fail, so I decided to float with the current the other way and worry about getting back later. This route was taking me towards a pond or a lake formation similar to an oxbow lake. Congaree National Park contains a few oxbow lakes formed when the Congaree River took a shortcut, placing sediment in the old path and forming a cut-off lake. This lake or pond formation may not be an oxbow lake, but it sure was a cool formation to check out along Cedar Creek. It was really interesting to see this tree, completely hollowed out from the inside, but still standing tall among the floodplain here at Congaree. Now, you might have seen that white bird pass by off in the distance. I believe that was a great egret. I've been watching them for a while as I was doing my paddling at Congaree. I just could never get close enough to get one on camera. They would always move a few hundred feet as I got closer. But I certainly heard their loud, a little bit frightening croaking sound as I was going through Cedar Creek. Off in the distance, you could tell that I was approaching this oxbow lake type formation. Again, I'm not sure if this is an oxbow lake, but it looks just like the ones I've seen on the map. Anyway, I think this is one of the most beautiful places along Cedar Creek, so I'll let you watch the compilation of footage I took as I took my time to explore here. Now, you might have noticed these stumps growing around the trees in the water. They're called cypress knees. and there's no real known reason why they form or their purpose. The main theory is that it's for aeration of the tree while it lives in the floodplain, but there's no exact proven theory. Anyway, they're really cool to see because you mostly only see them in wetlands and floodplains like this, and it's just another unique feature of Congaree. Alright, well, I'm making my way back in my paddleboard to where I launched to finish my trip. It was a rough paddle on the way back, but I eventually got there. Anyway, this is where I'm cutting it for this video. I'm going to do a part 2 where I focus on the hike I did at Kingsnake Trail and really showing some of the more terrestrial side of Congaree National Park. So stay tuned for that, but thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out justchillingoutdoors.com. I'll put the link below. That's where I post all of my content like this. Again, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed.